And now we're ready to put the post filter. The post filter will have two of these blue tabs on each end of it when you see it. So you'll just pop those on off, okay, on both sides, this side and the back side. On the back side, and once you've done that, you're going to enter this particular L-barb in it. There's actually two of them that you'll see right here. One of them is barbed halfway and smooth for the rest, and the other one is barbed all the way through. So you'll have to take a look at them, and if your eyesight's a little weak, just feel it, and you'll see that the one that is less barbed will be going into your outflow. That's the last arrow, and that'll be the portion that's going into the distiller right here. We're going to remove this in just a second. The other component, again, you would screw in here. And again, on all these, you want to make sure after you've done that you have no leaks going on. So this is going to end up going in here, down in here, and this portion is going to be going up there, and I'll show you what that means in just a second. Let me put this aside. And by the way, before we go any further, it's really, really easy to forget. Put the date right up here so that you know that you should be changing it at least once a year, and you can remember how to do that, okay? So put your date there with your trusty marker pen, and now we're going to place this. Remember, everything should be cool at this point in time. The head is cool and the tank is cool. I'm going to set this aside, place this over here. I'm going to take out the sterilization tube. I'm going to lift up because remember, this is cool now. I'm taking that out. I'm removing this portion of it, which is like a seal. I'm placing it right here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do with this portion of it is place that right back into my hole. I have this tube, this portion of the tube, which has this O-clamp on it. I'm going to be bringing that back around to the front, right up here. And I'm going to be pushing that right back on. Okay, now as you can see, we set this in this particular component. We brought this tube back around and it's coming up into here, so it's set to go into production. Okay, now what I want to do at this point, and I probably should have, now that you saw how it was connected, really it's going to start producing water. Water is going to start going through the system, and it'll be a few minutes before it starts going through here. But really, I like to pull this apart and set it aside and see at least half a glass of water come on out, because what you're doing is taking off the small charcoal particulates that are in here on out. It's not that it's unhealthy for you, it's just you just don't want your water to be looking dark to begin with. So that's what I like to do to begin with. And of course, once you've gotten about a half a glass out, put it back in here. And let it go back in production. By the way, you do have this brace component on here. As you can see, it has a back. You can take that on off. Set this down here where you want it. And set your post filter right there and you're ready to go. You can turn it on. Or really what you should do at this point in time is it should have been unplugged. And while we're on that, we should always know this, that when you're working with your distiller, even though your buttons say off and on, there's always residual current going through it. So as you're working on it, you must make sure that it's unplugged. You should do that before you start working on it, and you should do it at all points through the distillation process, except at one point which we mentioned earlier. And that's all there is to it. You've got it now set. You're plugging it back in. You have your post filter in. Everything is set. You plug it in at this point in time. You make sure that your incoming water is on. You'll start hearing it fill up. You've got your fan switch on in red, and you've got your automatic fill in. You'll be hearing the water go on. And in just a short while, you'll have the best water and the healthiest water you've ever tasted. Thank you so much.